Welcome, ladies, to our 9:30 Zoom workout on this rainy day. Hopefully, if you were supposed to be in one of our outdoor classes, you have a chance to join us today.
Please proceed.
No excuses, am I right? Let's go ahead and get started with our side-to-side tap. Core nice and tight. We're going to bring those hands up, and we're going to just do a jab across the body, one wall and then the other. Now you can keep your eyes forward like so, especially if going back and forth makes you dizzy. Good. And as far as equipment goes today, we're just going to need a set of hand waves. And also, especially if you have sensitive back or wrist today, a sturdy chair or bench. This is going to be to modify one of our planks. So, hopefully you have those things nearby. Beautiful. Good, keeping those shoulders down, keeping that core tight. We are doing a little bit of a twist here. And notice what I'm doing with my feet. I've got a little bit of a lift through the ankle so that knee can come toward the position that I'm punching. Because what we don't want is any excessive torque of the knee. You see how odd that is? It's not so good. All right, and let's do 4, let's do 3, and let's do 2, and we're gonna bring the hands on down by the body, adding an invisible jump rope, and let's do our boxer shuffle, right, left, left. Good.
Stop, exercise.
Now here, this is low impact. You'll notice I'm getting a lot of elasticity, a lot of lift through the ankle and the knee. But it's still low impact. However, if you want to, you can always take it up. Good.
Begin set 2.
All right, let's do our jump rope sequence. Version 1 is this boxer shuffle, and version 2 is going to be a little kick forward. So let me show you low impact first. We have 8, 6, and 4, and 3, and 2 into a step kick. 1. Good. 2. And 3. Beautiful. Now, 5 and 6, and we're going to go ahead and take it the high impact version in 5, 6, 7, boxer shuffle.
Stop, exercise.
Good. We're going to go through again to set 3 for 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Step, kick, take it up. Now notice I'm adding a little hop. Good. 4
Begin set 3.
and 5 and 6, totally optional, and 7, you can do this, and 8, boxer shuffle, 1, good. Always be mindful of your landings, but here we should start to feel that heart rate come on up. 4, 5, 6, 7, step kicks, 1, let's start the coordination there just a little bit. It happens. If it happens, you just smile and shrug and keep on going. For 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Good. Let's do a little side to side. Beautiful little side to side tap. All right, set 4, we're going to go over squat form. We have a traditional squat today. So, toes just a touch wider than the apart, and maybe very slightly turned out. Not turned out like a sumo squat, just a very soft V. Hips come back, hips come down. Drive up through the heels, and you're going to squeeze the butt from the back. Come all the way up to standing without sending your hips too far forward. Back, down, up, forward. And yes, my weight was so far back in my heels that I fell backwards a little bit. Usually happens on the first or second rep. Good. Now, we're looking for the knees to be aligned with the toes, making sure that they're not falling in,
and switch to the next
nor are they flaring out. Now we're going to go ahead and grab one of our hand weights, just one. You can either hold it in both hands and let it dangle down here. Your squat will look like this, or this is going to be a little bit more challenging. Both hands under the thick part, right at the chest. Like literally pressed against your boobs. Good. We'll do our squats right here. Down and up. Good. Now, if your knees are sensitive, you can do shallow. Shallow is just fine. Just make sure your core is always nice and tight. Again, weight always back in the heels, back in the heels. What I don't want to see is this. Knees should not be that far forward. Sit that booty back like you are in the world's grossest porta potty. Good. Get that butt back there. Good.
Exercise.
Very nice. Now, if you want to progress a little bit more, we're going to go ahead and grab 2 weights. 1, 2. And hold them right here on top of the shoulders. This is going to load up your
Begin
core
set 2.
much more. Chances are heart rate's going to come up as well. This is optional. For some people, this is really not great for their shoulders or their lower back. Down and up. Very nice. Weight back in the heels. Pressing those knees apart just a little bit. Good. Now you notice I tend to use my elbows as a guide, like touching my elbows to my knees, but that's only if your knees are healthy. Good. Inhale on the way down and exhale as you come up. One thing I tend to see a lot, ladies, is people turn this into a deadlift. Their torso comes down really far, like that. You want to keep your eyes forward and your chest nice and high. All right. Progression.
Begin set 3.
Optional if your shoulders are healthy. Give this a try. I'm going to face this way. Good. Hips back and down. Drive up. 1 weight overhead. Back to the shoulder and down. Up through the heel. Boom. Notice how fluid that motion is. What we do not want, ladies, is an extension on a diagonal. That weight needs to be right by your ear, right on top of your shoulder. And drive. Good. Down and down.
Exercise.
Up and up. Sometimes I see this. People will try to squat and press at the same time. So it's like this or like this. No, no, no. Hips first come up and then come up. Always stacked.
Begin set 4.
Speaking of which, that's our progression. Both arms at the same time. Again, only if your shoulders can do it. Hips back and down. Drive, drive. Core is tight. Back down to the shoulders. Heart rate should be coming on up. Good. Now, quick note, if none of this is any good, you're more than welcome to stick with one hand or one at the chest, okay? You don't have to do this. But if you want it to be a little bit harder, let's pick it up.
Stop exercise.
1
Switch to the next.
and 2. Good. I'm going to do 1 more. 1 and 2. Beautiful. It's time to come down to our mats. Now we're going into planks. If your wrists are real sensitive today, I want you to do your plank on a bench or a sturdy chair on your elbows.
Begin
However,
set 1.
if your wrists are okay or you're happy with monkey paw, we're going to come here. High plank to start. So, hands directly underneath the shoulders. Tailbone is nice and tucked. Belly button is pulled in. And you are trying to bring your hip bones up to your rib cage. We're just starting here. Glutes are lightly engaged. Driving those heels back.
Stop exercise.
Good. Drop your knees and give me a quick little child's pose. Excellent. So you're welcome to stay here, or you're going to go into a mountain climber. This is why we're doing an elevated plank. Mountain climber is when the knees come straight forward toward the chest. I'll put my feet on the floor for this next bit. Keep the chair back. So 1, 2, 1, 2. You're not twisting. No twisting here. Just straight forward and then back. Trying to keep those hips as even as possible. Good. Keep that back nice and flat. And try your very best not to poop your hips up like this. No hiking. Perfect plank.
Stop exercise.
Very good. Knees down, hips back. Excellent. So, let me show you something. A lot of times when people try to do mountain climbers on their elbows, it ends up sending the hips really high. I want to avoid that. Keep those hips on down.
Begin set 3.
Good. Set 3. Same thing. Here's a progression if you'd like it. A little faster. Now before we were doing 1, 2, find your center, 1, 2, switch to monkey paw. This time, you're going to switch them pretty rapidly, but still smooth. 1, 2, 1, 2. Low, impact, right here, but still very steady. Upper body is not moving very much, if at all.
Stop, exercise.
Woo, very good. All right, step 4. Take it up one more notch. Optional, optional, optional. Turn this into a little bit higher impact. We're going to throw some cardio back into the mix. Again, without bobbing your hips up and down.
Begin set
Here
4.
we go. Bring one knee in. Catch the slightest bit of air as you switch. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Now I need to check. My hips are wanting to come up. I need to make sure that they stay in line. 1, 2, 1, 2. And here comes that heart rate again. Yes. Beautiful. Shoulders and chest burning. Core nice and tight. Quads probably a little bit burning.
Stop, exercise,
Woo.
and switch to the next
All right,
position.
let's turn over. Bridges. We get to lie down. First, I'm going to drink water. All right. So, let's go ahead and go into one-legged. Both legs all the way together. Hands anywhere you like, behind the head or at your sides is fine. I'm going to pick my left leg up first. I'm going to tap that heel to my knee and extend. And repeat. Tap and extend. That's it. Like so, nice and slow. Belly button pulled in lightly. And you're just driving most of your body weight to the right heel. Very good. Let's go ahead and drop those hips. Rock the knees very gently, right to left, just releasing any tension you may feel in your lower back or your hips. And we'll switch to the other side.
Begin set 2.
Beautiful. Drive through those heels. Pick those hips up. One leg extend. Tap and extend. Very good. Nice and smooth and slow. Your hips are not really bobbing up and down. You're just maintaining as much height as you can without it bothering your lower back, please. So if you're really high and your back feels kind of like, ooh, wrenching, you want to avoid that. Nice deep breaths. And tap.
Stop,
Extend.
exercise.
Good. Drop those hips. Foot down and rock. Very nice. Sets 3 and 4, we're going to change it up a little bit because you know how I like to do that. This is how we do. You're going to bring those hips on up. One leg up
set
once
3.
again. This time, instead of tapping the knee, you're going to bend the knee a little bit and you're going to very slowly tap the floor. Tap and then up. Again, kind of a soft knee, like you don't need to have a full extension of the leg. That's crazy. Good. Tap and up, just very lightly. Now this is going to be a little bit more challenging. The reason for that is because this thigh is now moving through space. The weight of her leg is going farther away from you.
Stop, exercise.
Which means that the working hamstring has to do a lot more work. Every time the leg comes from high to low, the supporting hamstring is going to work harder. So try to pay attention to that on this last set. Very good. Arms at your sides.
Begin set 4.
Hips up, leg up. Bend that leg to about 90-ish degrees. Tap and up. Again, this is slow. We don't want to swing or bounce the heel off the floor. Slow on the way down, little feather tap, whoop, and then up again. Good. I'm losing some of my height in my hips, which is totally fine. As long as your hips are off the floor, that's all that matters here. Very nice.
Stop, exercise.
Go ahead and drop
switch
those
to the
hips.
next station.
Excellent. Rock your knees from right to left And you're gonna go ahead and turn over onto your side, like so. All right, let's do some side lying leg raises. Up on the elbow, totally fine, or down on the arm, just depends on what your shoulder's feeling today. I'm gonna do up on the elbow. We're gonna come up high, and we're going to make little circles. For set 1, we're gonna go in one direction, and then we're gonna switch for set 2. And yes, 2 sets. And yes, it's going to burn. And yes, I am wondering why I'm doing this. Because when I make you do it, that means I have to do it. That's the problem with Zoom. Little circles, whoo. Good, now you are doing your very best to keep your core nice and tight and your hips really stacked. Like I just had to correct that because I was rolling back on my glute a little bit. All right, now I was going counterclockwise first. Now I'm gonna go clockwise. Good. I just had to check my shoulder too. I was collapsing into my shoulder just a touch. I'm just gonna lift, make my neck nice and long. Now, if you're down, like so, you don't have to worry too much about collapsing into the shoulder, but what you do have to worry about is compensating for this. Because what tends to happen is when we're low, this is actually less challenging than being up here. So you need to come up higher. Good. Now the circles themselves are slow and small. Like basically if you had a pencil poking out of your heel, you would be drawing not even a dinner plate. You'd be drawing a saucer. Very good. Now I made that weird little sound because it's time to flip over. Good. Make sure you're stacked. Hips one right on top of the other. Belly button is pulled in. Flex that top foot.
Begin set 3.
Pick it up. One direction first, going clockwise. Good. Now, God, this outside of the thigh is already burning. Unlike the other one, the first one is always easier. The reason for that is many times when we try to get height here, we're also pushing into the mat with the other thigh. So you're already working on this one in the first 2 sets. And now you're just doubling down on that work.
Stop.
Good. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this break because that's crazy. And we're gonna go ahead and switch directions. Again, go for that saucer. Try not to go too big. The minute we go big, our body wants to compensate and we really do want to maintain nice stillness through here.
Begin set 4.
All right, set 4, here we go. Counterclockwise this time. Good, drawing a saucer. I'm gonna try not to curse, but all of you at home, you can curse if you like. You know they've done studies, and if you grunt, yell, or curse, those who did vocalize their exercise actually were able to go longer and rated
Stop
less
exercise and switch to the next.
rated less fatigue. All right, let's go ahead and come on up to standing. We're going to do an upper body series. Ooh, but first, feel free to move those hips around in a big old circle. Ah, feels good. Okay, adjust my pants and grab the weights.
Set 1.
So set 1, we're going to go ahead and go into a bicep curl. Nice and simple. Good, hammer style is fine, which is what I'm doing here. You're also welcome to do open palm. But we're going a little faster. Yeah, up and down. 1 and 2. Good. Now I'm going a little bit heavier. You can see I'm holding these 12.5s. 1, 2. Keep those elbows right underneath the shoulders. You want to make sure they're not falling backward,
exercise.
nor are they coming forward. Very good. Go ahead and take a break. Set 2, we're going to go into our tricep kickbacks. Now, a kickback is when the torso is down, either with a runner's lunge position or a simple
Begin
bent over.
set 2.
Elbows are high and we press. Good. Now we do need a little squeeze through those shoulder blades. 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, we're trying to keep that pace. 1 and 2. Beautiful. Now, if your lower back doesn't like this bent over position, you're welcome to go into the A, big letter A with your legs. That's going to give you a little bit of a kickstand for your lower back. 1, 2. Keep going.
Stop, exercise.
Good, drive through the heels, come on up. Give me a shoulder roll. Very nice. Bicep curls again. This time, we're going to come to 90 degrees. We're going to hold it. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and we're not going to overcompensate by leaning back or sending our pelvis forward. Belly button is in, glutes are squeezed. And then we're going to give me tiny little pulses. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Very nice. Woo. So usually when I teach you guys, I grab 9s. Today I've grabbed 12.5s. I might have grabbed a little bit heavier if I knew I didn't have to talk also.
Stop, exercise.
Oh, but I'm kind of committing to my workout today with you guys. This is because I woke up late today. So having you here is motivating me. Isn't that beautiful? Hips back, elbows up. This time with the triceps, we're just going to limit the range of motion. So you're going to come back, come forward only a little bit, and then back again. So as before, we were going kind of all the way forward. This time we go from straight to light to straight to light. And what that does is make us pulse and get a lot of reps. And then the tricep starts to burn. Your eyes should not be towards your pelvis or the chin tucked in, but your eyes should not also be all the way forward. I like to keep my head in line. Try and keep my elbows high.
And switch to the next stage.
Oh my God. All right, let's go ahead and go into some rows because girl got to work her upper back. So we're going to start with a fairly traditional row. Big letter A for this one, I think, because I really do want your torso to be fairly low to the floor. Your weights are not going to be back here. They're going to come forward so that the knuckles are pointing straight down toward the floor, and then you come up and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And squeeze, and squeeze. Good. Beautiful. Hinging the shoulder blades together hard. Shoulders are down away from the ears, and we are trying to get those reps done. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Get them done, baby. Get those reps done. Now, the higher up we come with our torso, the less of a back exercise it's going to be. It's going to turn into shoulders. Good. I'm going to put my weights down for a second. And get a grab a sip of water. All right. Set 2. I'm going to show you a variation. If your shoulders are sensitive, be very careful here, okay? So I'm going to turn so that I'm facing you, so you can see exactly what my elbows are doing here. Out to the side. Most of the time, my palms are facing in and my elbows are close to the waist, but this time my palms are facing me, and I'm coming out and out. This is a wide row, so I'll turn on diagonal so you can see a little bit better right here. A lot of times when people do this, they'll kind of come way high up. That's not really necessary.
Stop.
You still want your neck to be able to stay nice and long. Good. And drive through those heels. Come on up. Beautiful. All right. Set 3. Ugh. Am I really going to progress this?
Begin set 3.
Yes, yes I am. Okay. So, your choice. Narrow is fine or wide is fine. But either way, you're going to pulse it. So you're going to come up and you're going to pulse. Pulse. And on every single pulse, you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. You bring my chest a little farther forward. And this is starting to feel really heavy, even though usually if I'm doing a one-armed row or a seated row, I have at least 30 to 35 pounds per hand. Oh my God, this is only 12.5 pounds and it's killing me. Why? Because I'm doing it wide, like so, which is gonna be a little bit more challenging, but also the pulsing. Oh, pulsing. So,
Begin set 4.
if you have very heavy weights, and the pulsing is too much for you, feel free to go back to full range of motion, but most home weight sets are pretty light. And the upper back is a nice, big, strong muscle. Good, so I'm gonna demonstrate this with a more neutral grip. So you can pull those elbows up, keep them close to the waist and pulse right here, okay? But I wanna challenge myself, so wide we go, elbows high, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. We get to lie down after this
Stop
game.
exercise and switch to the next
Okay,
station.
so I'm doing a lot of vocalizing. See? I'm doing what the studies tell me to, and now I feel like not that much stronger, but it's fine. All right, let's start real nice and basic. Crunch. Hands laced into a
Begin
basket,
set 1.
which then goes behind the head in the center of the back of the skull. Elbows are wide, and you're gonna come on up. Now, if your back is very sensitive, you're gonna stay right here for the rest of the set. If you already know you want a little bit more of a challenge, you're just gonna bring those knees fairly close into the chest. Shins about parallel to the floor. Now, we are trying to get the shoulders up fairly high here. We're engaging through the upper abdominals in order to get that height. It's squeezing, literally getting shorter to pull our sternum up.
Stop
Lead with the
exercise.
chest. Good. And sometimes I send my nose to the ceiling. Sometimes if my neck feels a little fatigued, I'll send my nose to the tips of my knees. But let's go ahead and take that break. Good. Now, if you've already got your knees close to the chest,
Begin set
we're
2.
gonna make this just the tiniest bit harder. You're gonna make a tabletop position. Hands behind the head. Lower back must stay down and flat, please. And up we go. So now, with the knees slightly farther away, I'm gonna go ahead, yeah, they're stacked right on top of my hips. This is much more of a challenge for my lower abdominals. Good. Belly button is in as much as you can muster. A lot of times when we do our ab work, especially anything resembling crunches, the ab muscles want to mound up like a mountain. And your
Stop
job
exercise.
is to try to flatten them out like a valley. Much easier said than done. I'm still working on it. Especially since I'm a little water retentive because I had pizza for Valentine's Day.
Begin set 3.
I don't want to brag, but I think I just did. Hands behind the head. Knees at 90 degrees, and up we go. Good. Now this time, if your neck is sensitive, please feel free to keep going with it all the way up and all the way down. However, if you feel pretty strong today and your neck feels good, you're going to stay nice and high. And hold. And then you're going to pulse. And the pulse. Ooh. Good. Lower back staying flat. And I'm trying to pull my belly button in as much as I possibly can. It's hard. Knees stay
Stop
stuck.
exercise.
Very good. Little breaks here. Very important. Especially for the lower back. All right. Final progression. Keep in mind, please, ladies, that all of these progressions are optional. You can always go back to level 1. It's always available to you.
Begin
So
set
here's level
4.
4. Soles of the feet up to the sky. Good. Try to get those legs as straight as you can. If you need a soft knee, a lot of people have tight hamstrings, that's fine. You're going to do your pulses again. And if you want even more of a challenge, you're just going to drop your legs like a few inches tops. And then pulse right here. Now if you feel like it, you can send one fingertip up to one toe. I like it because it kind of keeps me like focused on the goal, even though I'm never actually going to reach
Stop
my toe.
exercise.
Woo!
Your training is now complete.
Your training is complete.
Please write down machines and continue to the cardio area.
Thank you for letting me kill myself today. I needed it. I'm going to come up and say hello. All right,